I would like to tell you when to collaborate and when not to collaborate in organizations. Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Patrick Stahl. I teach leadership and self-leadership. This is on leadership. Now, of course, you can tweak it to self-leadership if you want to. We collaborate for the wrong reasons and in the wrong ways. The problem is that there's often a battle cry in organizations where they say, collaboration is the future. We need to collaborate a lot more to beat the competitors. But, what happens then is that you rally up the usual suspects. You say that, oh, cool, Clive, Monica, Pete, and myself, we work so well together, and Ranjit and me, we have such good chemistry, we always vibe, and we have all these great ideas. You rally up the usual suspects or the suspects that you want to collaborate with, which doesn't mean that the actual organization will benefit from it. It will just make you feel good, feel productive, when you're really not that efficient. So collaboration, and I'm taking a lot of this from Morten T. Hansen's brilliant work in his book Collaboration. I will not attempt to summarize it. Well, actually I will. Hansen tells us that if you want good collaboration in an organization, it needs to be to improve innovation, to improve top line revenue growth, or to improve operations. So either you increase the speed of innovation or improve innovation, that's a reason to collaborate, or you improve revenue, you grow your revenue. If you have collaboration opportunities that will grow revenue, then that's a second alternative. The third one, again, it is about improving operations, reducing costs, making things smarter and faster. Those are the three areas to actually look for collaboration. If my team worked with that team, can we increase revenue? If my team worked with that team, or if my function integrates more with that function, will that improve operations, make us faster, make us smarter, reduce cost? So, starting point is to say those are the three areas. Where can we collaborate? Now, when you have identified those, then you have 4 barriers or 4 obstacles to why it doesn't happen naturally. Because if there's an opportunity to collaborate, there's usually a reason why it doesn't happen by itself. So they can be, and Hansen talks about 4 barriers. You have 2 barriers that are about willingness, that you're just not willing to share, to collaborate. And then you have 2 that are about your ability, that you're just not able, even if you want to, you're not able to collaborate. So not invented here is a first barrier about willingness. That means that you have an insular culture, maybe you have a lot of status and prestige and stuff like that, holding you back, because this is not invented here. So you cannot, we will not share that with you. We will not collaborate. Maybe we'll collaborate on the surface, have a couple of, constructive meetings, but it will not lead to anything because it's not invented here, so we're not willing to collaborate. That's one of those 2. The other about willingness is about hoarding. That means that you have maybe set competitive wrong incentives, so to speak. If I say I want all of you to share your sales leads with the person who is most likely to close the sale, and by the way, all your bonuses are strictly individual, then I've set my KPIs, my ways of measuring things and rewarding things in a really weird and wrong way, because I want people to share, but I reward them for not sharing. So if I say that I have a 30% chance of closing this big deal, that guy has a 90% chance of closing the same deal, but 30%, that's my bonus. 90%, that's his bonus. So I'll better take the chances with getting a bonus on my own. And that's, not very good for an organization. Collaboration is not happening because it's a hoarding barrier. I'm not willing to share. The other 2 barriers are about ability. So, for example, if I want to collaborate, but I have no clue, maybe we're 12,000 employees, and I'm going like, who knows this? There's probably someone who knows it in the organization, but I have no idea, because sheer company size makes it really hard for me to be able to find the person or the team or the function that I should collaborate with. So ability, when it comes to the search barrier, means that I'm just not aware of the stuff that we have in our own organization. So I maybe hire external consultants, which is not such a bad thing. Just want to make that sure. So I may be hiring external consultants for something that we have internally. It's just that the search barrier means that that collaboration will never happen because I'm just not aware of the fact that someone has that knowledge inside. Maybe we have super close networks. Maybe we just hang out. We Italians in the Italian company, we Swedes in the Swedish company, we Germans in the German company, which means that you have all of these silos where the search barrier means that I look in my little silo, but not in another silo. Now, the final fourth one, again, it's called the transfer barrier. It means that maybe I know exactly the person, and that person is in my own organization, but that person only speaks Portuguese and not a single word of English. I have this super expert, but we cannot communicate. And that's called the transfer barrier. It's also a barrier of ability, where I'm just not able to collaborate. And that can be many things. And some collaboration are about implicit knowledge. I'm not a salesperson, but if I know a salesperson, I know a few, and I ask them to explain to me, how do you win over a client? Then they will say, it's about connection, it's about reading the room. It is so much implicit, tacit knowledge that it's so hard to explain. So that could be that the other person really wants to explain to me, this is how you make a good sales relationship, how you build that. But they just can't explain that. Then the ability is there, but there's a transfer barrier because they're just not able to transfer that knowledge. So the collaboration will not happen, even if they want to and I want to. So those are the four barriers. Not invented here: hoarding, search barrier, and transfer barrier. Now, for all of those, it's usually a combination, There are three standard solutions that you can work with, three levers that you can pull. And usually the solution to create a collaboration is to make sure that you actually use all of these three in combination. Now, the first one is about networks. You create nimble networks, not general networking, but to actually pinpoint these nimble little networks where you say that person with that person and myself. We build a network there. What we try to do there is to create stronger ties, stronger connection, so that we can look each other in the eyes and say, oh, yeah, I need a little bit of help here. Stronger ties, not weak ties. It's about psychological safety. It's about being able to put some weight on that relationship, on that network. So create small, nimble networks, pinpointing who should talk to who. Now, that's the first one. The second solution is T-shaped managers, T-shaped leadership, where you have people in the organization. This is something you can recruit, hire, or you can train. Now, T-shaped managers means that you are good at working with your team, with your role, your expertise down in your own team, but also to network and share and disseminate that knowledge. So if I lead a sales team and I realize that, wow, that's a game changer, then I don't keep it to myself. Instead, I intuitively think I need to tell the other sales team's managers. And that is working with my peers. So the T means that I'm not just working with my peers, sharing and disseminating knowledge, exchanging ideas, learning from others, sharing with others, but also working down, optimizing with my own team, my own people, my own resources. So that's a T-shaped management. You can train it, you can hire it, recruit it, and sometimes if you can't train it, you need to replace people. But T-shaped management is one way to increase collaboration where you need collaboration. And the final one is called unification. It means that you have a shared central unifying goal. So that instead of having people in different pockets fighting for their own little goals, you give them a shared unified goal. Now, this could be something like just establishing very clearly with your leadership mandate that I know that we're all fighting internally, but our collective reason to be here is this. You give a unified goal, and then you back that up by pointing out the people who are already walking towards that goal. They are collaborating in the right way. They are collaborating in the right way. Giving unified goal could be monetary also, to say that, yes, you have individual bonuses, but the bulk of your bonus should be a collective bonus, how the whole department or how the whole function is reaching its goals. So a unifying goal is a way to make sure that everybody knows which direction to walk. So that's it. That's how you work more constructively with collaboration. You pinpoint where you can collaborate, you figure out what's the barrier, why is it not happening yet? And then you design a solution using the nimble networks, the T-shaped management, and a unifying goal, unification. Good luck.